Welcome to the Wilds of Eldraine rules video. My name is Nelson.
And I'm Serge. Let's go over the new and returning mechanics. Every creature in Eldraine has a story to tell, and the new role mechanic gives your creatures their own part to play. Other than jumping heroically, how will your story turn out? Some spells and abilities generate one of 7 predefined aura tokens called rules. Typically, the card will tell you which role it's creating, so don't worry about having to make too many choices. Roles are colorless enchantment tokens. Each one has the aura and role subtypes, and the enchant creature ability. When you create a role, you will also attach it to a permanent. A neat rules interaction, Hexproof and Shroud won't prevent a role from becoming attached to a permanent if the ability creating that role doesn't target it. The plot thickens. Permanents can play different roles for different players. A permanent can have multiple roles attached to it if the roles are controlled by different players. However, if a permanent has more than one role attached to it controlled by the same player, each role except for the most recent one will be put into its owner's graveyard as a state-based action.
It wouldn't be Eldraine if we didn't encounter at least one Fae offering us a mysterious deal. So why not make a bargain? I'm sure it'll all work out fine. Bargain means, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. Bargain presents an optional additional cost. A spell cast with that additional cost is considered bargained. You may only sacrifice one artifact, enchantment, or token to pay a spell's bargain cost. If you copy a bargained spell, the copy is also bargained. Some instant and sorcery spells require additional targets if they're bargained. You ignore those targeting requirements if those spells aren't bargained, and you can't bargain those spells unless you can choose valid targets.
Eldraine has been through a lot, but that doesn't mean we can't cut loose and blow off a little steam. It's time to celebrate. Celebration is an ability word that rewards you whenever 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control in a single turn. Each celebration works slightly differently, so pay extra attention to how the cards work. Some celebration abilities trigger at specific parts of the turn. They'll check how many permanents have entered the battlefield at that point. Other celebrations are static abilities that grant power and toughness increases or other abilities to creatures. Celebration only cares if 2 or more non-land permanents entered the battlefield in a turn. This ability is either true or false. You won't get more value if you have more than 2 permanents entering.
Quick, pack your bags. It's time to set out on an iconic Eldraine returning mechanic, Adventure. Adventure cards are permanent cards that have adventure spells built into the left of their text box. You may cast the card as its adventure. If you do, you can cast it as a permanent later. An adventure card is a permanent card in every zone except the stack. When casting an adventure, all the spell's characteristics, color, mana cost, etc., are determined only by those alternative characteristics. If the spell leaves the stack, it immediately resumes its normal form. If a spell is cast as an adventure, place it into exile instead of the graveyard if it resolves. It's now in the adventure zone. As long as it remains exiled, that player may cast it as a permanent spell. You must still follow any timing restrictions and permissions for the permanent spell you cast from exile.
That's it for the rules.
Thanks for watching.